looking at this stretch of heaven and earth where Xiao Yan's aura had already vanished. Little Dr. Fairy Zi Yan and the others understood they had ultimately arrived one step too late. Continuing from before, in the Xiao clan territory of eastern central plains, Xiao Yan hovered in mid-air. At this moment his gaze was directed toward the distant horizon ahead. In the distance, Xiao Xiao's figure was tearing through the sky as she approached. "Father, you're back." However, the one who arrived first was Xiaolin. He flew to Xiao Yan's side, smiling brightly as he said, "Haha, you brat. While I was gone, you didn't slack off in your cultivation, did you?" Xiao Yan looked at the young man before him, who closely resembled his younger self, and a faint smile curled at the corner of his lips. "Father, how would I dare slack off? Elder sister has been watching me all the time." Hearing Xiaolin's reply, Xiao Yan nodded in satisfaction. When he left the Duchi continent, Xiaolin had already reached the peak of a 4-star Dao Sheng, and in these 6 years, his strength had advanced to just one step away from an 8-star Dao Sheng. At this moment, Xiao Xiao's figure also appeared. "You finally came back." She stepped forward, holding Xiao Yan's hand obediently. Usually dignified in front of others, she now became exceptionally gentle before her father. "You little girl, I know you've been causing trouble for your grandfather and the others quite often." Xiao Yan first hugged Xiao Xiao, then lightly flicked her forehead. "Don't think I don't know. Over these years you've barely touched an alchemy cauldron." "Ah, father, why are you scolding me the moment you return?" Xiao Xiao placed her hands on her waist, looking completely justified. "I must clarify 2 things. First, about the rumors that I caused trouble outside. That's because someone insulted father. I couldn't tolerate it, so I taught him a lesson. But only my younger brother knows about it, and it was handled in a remote place. So, you killed him, didn't you?" Hearing Xiao Yan's words, Xiao Xiao's body trembled slightly, wondering how he knew. Seeing this, Xiao Yan continued, "And what's the second thing you want to clarify? I don't like alchemy. I know you're a grandmaster alchemist and hope for a successor, but wouldn't Yu Quan be better? She's much stronger than me. The only 2nd-grade medicinal pill I can refine now was taught by her." Xiao Xiao stuck out her tongue as she spoke. Hearing this, Xiao Yan sighed. He did not wish to force his children onto paths they did not like. Forced choices rarely led to good results. Letting things take their natural course was perhaps the best option. At the side, Xiaolin suddenly asked, "Father, where are Mother and Mother Kai Lin?" "They are in the Great Thousand World. I'll take you there in the future. But right now, I have something important to handle." After speaking, Xiao Yan turned his gaze toward Xiao Xiao. "This time, seeing that you've cultivated diligently and advanced to Dodi, I've decided to take you out to see the outside world." "Great. Father loves me the most." Xiao Xiao happily hugged Xiao Yan again. She had long grown tired of life on the Duchi continent. "Father, what about me?" "What about me?" Xiaolin quickly asked. "I will arrange something to help you break through to 8-star Dao Sheng." As Xiao Yan spoke, he flicked his finger. The space before him twisted instantly, forming a black passage. This was no ordinary spatial tunnel, it was a plain passage leading beyond the Duchi continent. "Father, Elder Yao Lao and the others haven't even seen you yet. Are you leaving so soon?" Xiaolin continued. "Ha! There will be plenty of chances to meet in the future. No need to rush." Xiao Yan smiled, then took Xiao Xiao's hand and stepped into the plain passage. As the passage dissipated, figures gradually appeared behind Xiaolin Yao Lao and many relatives and friends who had rushed over from afar. On the other side stood 2 women. One wore light red robes, Yu Quan Xiao Yan's registered disciple in Central Plains. The other, clad in a purple-gold robe, was Ziyan clan leader of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. Moments later, 2 more spatial fluctuations appeared, and 2 figures slowly stepped out. One was the little Dr. Fairy, who had traveled all the way from Wutan City. The other was Gu Qingyang, the current 2nd elder of the Gu clan. Everyone gathered here looking at the world where Xiao Yan had already disappeared, knowing they had ultimately come too late. "Where is Xiao Yan?" Little Dr. Fairy asked Xiaolin, who somewhat resembled Xiao Yan. "That guy couldn't even stay a little longer." Ziyan snorted softly. She understood that Xiaoyan's hurried departure was not because he didn't want to see them, but because once they met, he would inevitably be entangled in countless matters. His swift departure only meant one thing: he had something extremely urgent and important to accomplish. Within Fragment World number 1 of the Duchi continent, above a vast and boundless ocean space, twisted forming a plain passage only a few zhang wide, Xiaoyan and Xiao Xiao stepped out of it. Where is this place? Xiao Xiao looked around in confusion. Duchi continent. We're still on the Duchi continent. That's not right. Although the continent is surrounded by seas, they aren't nearly this vast. She examined this new world and discovered that the Duchi here was far denser than that of the original Duchi continent. She had traversed every inch of the Duchi continent, yet she had never been here. This sea alone spanned millions of li. Xiao Xiao reached out and touched the void. The space twisted and shattered instantly. Yet she let out a surprised sound. The space here seems more stable. Isn't even a 1-star Daozong able to touch space? But here, without 5-star Daozong strength, it can't even be distorted. She murmured in confusion. To break space here would require at least the power of a 5-star Daozun. To create new space would require 4 or 5-star Dusheng or higher. Clearly, this was not the Duchi continent she was familiar with. Haha, let me show you the full picture of this world. Xiaoyan smiled faintly and gently placed his hand on her head. Silently, Xiao Xiao instantly gained complete awareness of this world. This was a world spanning tens of millions of li scale, hundreds of times larger than the Duchi continent. There was a supercontinent covering tens of millions of li, while several other landmasses of millions of li lay across the world. Among over 100 landmasses, more than a dozen were comparable in size to the Duchi continent. Yet land only accounted for 40%. The remaining 60% was an even more vast ocean. Xiao Xiao had never seen such a grand world. If the Duchi continent were placed here, it would likely be nothing more than a small island beside the supercontinent. What shocked her even more, this world actually had 17 Dudi experts. Among them, the 2 strongest were far beyond her perception. She herself was a 1-star Dodi. According to perception rules, she could not sense anyone more than 5 stars above her. This meant those 2 were at least 6-star Dodi. Among the remaining 15, Dudi 6 were 1-star 4, were 2-star 2, were 3-star, 2 were 4-star, and 1 was 5-star. Below Dodi, there were dozens of peak Daosheng experts. If this world were to become an enemy of the Duchi continent, the latter would have absolutely no means of resistance. When Xiao Tiansen saw Xiao Yan and Xiao Xiao, he was so excited that he was ready to give up the position of Xiao clan leader. Continuing from before, after Xiao Xiao had observed this fragment world number, 1 of the Duchi continent, over the next dozen minutes, Xiao Yang gradually explained to her the ancient history of the Duchi continent, and further revealed to her the mysteries of the Great Thousand World and the lower planes. To Xiao Xiao it all sounded like an unbelievable fairy tale. Then she asked curiously, "Father, since the lower planes are ravaged by the extraterritorial evil races, why hasn't our Duchi continent encountered them?" Xiao Yan explained, "This is a matter of probability. Among the total of over 470 fragment worlds, nearly 150 have been discovered by the extraterritorial evil races. 80 of them have already been attacked, but I have reclaimed them one by one. What about this world?" Xiao Xiao continued to ask. This world was indeed invaded hundreds of years ago, and it was a true Earth sovereign-level evil being. Xiao Yan spoke calmly, his gaze deep and distant. Fortunately, at that time, a lower plane alliance known as the Great Thousand Alliance intervened. They sent powerful experts to this world. He paused slightly. That Earth sovereign was severely injured, and ultimately sealed somewhere within this world. "Come," Xiao Yan said softly. "Let's go take a look at the Xiao clan." Xiao Xiao blinked in surprise. "There's also a Xiao clan here," Sayoko nodded. "This number 1 world is the largest among all fragment worlds. Within it, there are around 20 Duchi clans and more than a dozen Duchi sects that manage to survive. Among them, 7 clans and 3 sects are guarded by Do-Di experts. He then added his tone, turning slightly heavier. Unfortunately, the Zhao clan of this world has not produced a Do-Di. They only possess 3-peak Dao Sheng. As he spoke, Xiaoyan raised his hand and pointed toward the distant horizon. Ahead lay a vast continent, spanning millions of li. That is where the Zhao clan resides. This continent is shared between 2 great clans. The Xiao clan controls 2/3 of it, while the remaining 1/3 belongs to the Yan clan. Only a few minutes later, Xiaoyan and Xiao Xiao had already crossed space and arrived above that massive land. They descended from the sky, passing over endless mountain ranges, until finally a grand and majestic city came into view. Towering walls hundreds of zhang high encircled the city like an unbreakable fortress. Its sheer scale was no less than that of the Central Plains. And yet, this was merely one of the 9 great city regions under the control of the Xiao clan. Around each of these regions were tens of thousands of medium and small cities, forming an enormous, interconnected domain of power. This is the 3rd Zhao region. Within this city, Xiao Xiao sensed nearly 20 Dao Sheng auras, hidden throughout the city as if forming some kind of formation. Once activated, even a late-stage 8-star Dao Sheng would be wary. The strength of this single city region was comparable to any one of the Lei clan or Yan clan in the Duchi continent. Xiaoyan once knew. Xiao Xiao asked, "Father, what are we doing here?" "To clean up something," Xiaoyan replied. "When that Earth sovereign attacked this place hundreds of years ago, he brought dozens of Emperor-level evil beings. One of those branches targeted the Xiao clan and was eventually sealed here. Along with them were dozens of king-level evil beings." At this point, Xiaoyan paused slightly, then continued, "I will handle the king-level ones. As for that Emperor-level evil being, you will deal with it." At the edge of the 3rd Xiao region, within a vast canyon, Xiaoyan and Xiao Xiao slowly descended from the sky. Their gazes pierced through the mist, staring deep into the canyon. There stood a black tower, hundreds of zhang tall. Behind it were 12 black coffins, dozens of zhang long, emanating a sinister aura. However, their attention was focused on the front of the black tower, because a frail old figure sat cross-legged there. The old man wore nothing more than coarse, weathered cloth, his figure unmoving, as though he had been sitting there since the dawn of time itself. Dust had long since settled upon his body, layer upon layer, silent proof of the countless years he had remained in meditation. Decades, perhaps even centuries, had passed without him ever rising from that spot. He was like a relic of an ancient era, forgotten by time, yet still enduring. And yet today, that endless silence was finally shattered. Just as Xiao Xiao extended her soul power trying to probe the mysterious figure, a hoarse ancient voice suddenly rang out. "Who dares trespass into my demon-sealing forbidden land?" The voice echoed through the canyon, like thunder rolling endlessly between the cliffs. It carried an oppressive weight, as if the very space itself trembled in response. Xiao Xiao's expression shifted instantly. She withdrew her soul power without hesitation, a flicker of surprise flashing through her eyes. She was now a Do-Di being standing at the peak of the Do-Chi continent, and yet she had been detected so easily. Could it be? The one below was also a Do-Di. "Didn't you say the strongest in the Xiao clan were only 3-peak Dao Shen?" Xiao Xiao turned to Xiaoyan, her voice laced with confusion. Xiaoyan chuckled softly, his expression calm. "Haha, he is not a Do-Di, but he is indeed one of the 3-peak Dao Sheng of the Xiao clan." His gaze lowered toward the old man below. He failed to step into the Do-Di realm due to the lack of origin qi. Then he glanced at Xiao Xiao, a faint smile forming. "You've only just entered Do-Di. In terms of experience, you are still far behind these old monsters who have lived for thousands of years. It's only natural that he noticed you." With those words, Xiaoyan took a step forward. His figure blurred, and in the next instant he was already descending into the depths of the canyon. Xiao Xiao followed closely behind. As the two slowly landed before the old man, they both cupped their fists respectfully. greeting a guardian who had stood watch for centuries. The old man looked at Xiao Yan and said, "I cannot sense any aura from you." Then his gaze shifted to Xiao Xiao, his brows furrowing. "You carry the Xiao clan bloodline. This is a forbidden land who allowed a junior like you to enter. Why can't we come to a forbidden land?" Xiao Xiao snorted coldly and stepped forward. In an instant, a supreme-level aura erupted from her body, shaking heaven and earth. It surged outward like an unstoppable tide, carrying with it an overwhelming bloodline pressure. The power spread across the Duchi continent at a terrifying speed. Within hundreds of thousands of Li across 2 great city regions and nearly 10,000 cities, every single Xiao clan member below Dosheng felt their bloodline suddenly ignite. It boiled, roared, as if awakening from a long slumber. Even more astonishing, this surge of power caused the strength of billions of Xiao clan members to rise ever so slightly. Sensing his own bloodline being ignited, the old man froze. Then his expression changed, from shock to disbelief to overwhelming ecstasy. His body trembled violently as he leapt to his feet, grabbing Xiao Xiao's hand with uncontrollable excitement. His voice cracked as he shouted, "Doji, my Xiao clan has finally produced a Dodi." Ha 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 ha. His laughter echoed wildly through the canyon, filled with centuries of suppressed emotion. At that very moment, across the entire Xiao clan, a single piece of news spread like wildfire. A Dodi had been born. And for the Xiao clan, this meant everything. It meant revival. It meant glory. It meant a return to the peak. In the eastern region of the continent, hundreds of Dosheng auras erupted into the sky, transforming into blazing pillars of light. One after another, they tore through the heavens, all rushing toward the same destination, the third region. Meanwhile, in the first region, the very heart of the Xiao clan's power, more than a dozen figures slowly rose into the air. At the front stood a middle-aged man, his presence steady and imposing. Xiao Zhentian, the clan leader of the Xiao clan. Behind him stood the highest-ranking elders, each with solemn expressions and powerful auras, because they all understood something that would change the fate of the Xiao clan had just occurred. Clan leader is that aura coming from the direction of Patriarch Tianshen. Has Elder Tianshen broken through to Dodi? No, that aura does not belong to Patriarch Tianshen. Xiao Zhentian narrowed his eyes slightly. Let's go take a look. Back in the canyon, Xiao Xiao felt somewhat surprised at the old man's reaction, not understanding why he was so emotional. Senior Tianshen, Senior Tianshen. Xiao Yan stepped forward and spoke gently with a smile. My daughter is young, please forgive her if she has been disrespectful. As the controller of the Plains Core, Xiao Yan knew everything about the fragment worlds, including the identity of this old man. His name was Xiao Tianshen, the oldest surviving figure of the Xiao clan, a legend who had once stood at the very peak as its clan leader. Hundreds of years ago, he had personally witnessed the great calamity that nearly brought the Xiao clan to ruin. That day of blood and despair had been etched deep into his soul, a memory he could never forget. From that moment on, he made a silent vow. No matter how many years passed, no matter how lonely the watch became, he would stand guard here alone, ensuring that those terrifying evil beings would never return to threaten the Xiao clan again. And so for centuries he remained seated in this forbidden land, like an unmoving monument of time itself. Until today, that long-standing silence was finally broken. You are her father. Hearing Xiao Yan's words, Xiao Tianshen's pupils trembled. For the first time in hundreds of years, his calm, ancient eyes were filled with unmistakable shock. Because no matter how hard he tried, he could not sense even the slightest trace of aura from Xiao Yan. That kind of existence was far beyond his understanding. You are also a Dodi. His voice grew heavier, almost unsteady. Where exactly do you two come from? Then, as if struck by a sudden realization, his expression changed, shock, turning into overwhelming excitement. If a new Dodi has truly been born within our Xiao clan. He took a deep breath, his voice filled with urgency and determination. Then the position of clan leader should no longer belong to Zhentian. He stepped forward without hesitation, his gaze burning with intensity. It should belong to you.